Golden Aura Wellness Space Energy Talk series. Today we are going to be talking about working with energy. Do you have to be attuned? Is there any way to get around that? Is there anything you can do to not be attuned but work with energy? The answer is yes and no. To be a Reiki practitioner, Reiki master teacher, to call yourself anything in the Reiki field, you have to be attuned. There are multiple attunements. You need to take a course and you get like a certificate. You have to work on yourself for a certain amount of days, and on and on and on. Most, I'm only saying most because I don't want to speak for everybody. The good majority of people that are in the Reiki field believe in attunements. And I would say all because to be a Reiki practitioner, Reiki master teacher, normally you have to be attuned, right? And so I would say there's no way to be a Reiki practitioner without attunements. But I do understand that attunements can sometimes give people pause and they think, I'm not doing that. And so I get that. So no on that, in my opinion. But can you work with energy? Absolutely. So what brought this up for me was I was on social media and I had seen a post about a woman saying that she does not like Reiki. And she thought of it as, oh, don't come for me, a dirty practice. And the reason why she said that was because you have to have someone else attune you. And I thought, okay. And her rationale behind it was, when you're being attuned and you don't know the person that's attuning you, their background, how much healing that they've done on themselves, because when you get into this space, you want to put in the work. If you've watched me before, I'm like years and years of work. I have like books on top of books, on top of courses, on top of this, on top of that. And if I would not have done that, if back in the day when I was having panic attacks, I would have found Reiki and I would have been like, oh my gosh, this is for me. Like, this is the answer. I can't imagine working with other people's energy. I just can't. Oh my goodness. And so that was like her rationale. Like, you don't know how much work these people have put in or not put in. And I said, that's almost genius. And so unless you really, really know the person that's attuning you, how do you know? And how do you know the person that attuned them before and, the person before that? And then I thought, as I've stated before, I've taken so many courses. I've been attuned multiple times. So I'm like, oh goodness. But okay, so, and I've said before, on my podcast, I'm super scripted. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I sit, I really go through what I wanna say, and you can stop it, you can really get your wording right. But on Energy Talks, it's just like me flying by the seat of my pants. So I had no clue that this is what was gonna be, what today's Energy Talks was gonna be about. No clue. And so I'm driving to work. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Because, you don't want to mess with people's business. You don't want to mess with, what their life purpose. And that is not what I'm doing. I love Reiki. I have a Reiki business. But I feel like it's worth throwing it out there because it never really crossed my mind that people would feel any type of way about being attuned. And so here's the thing, and I've said this before, sometimes people can't see past their own nose. I love Reiki. And so that never came up for me, ever. But I know Reiki, I love Reiki. I'm very good in my practices. I've put in the work. So I believe that even if the people before me didn't put in the work, I've put in enough work for all of us. So we're good. And so yes, so that is what brought up today's Energy Talks. So if you're talking about becoming a Reiki master teacher, a Reiki practitioner, you want anything Reiki, attunements are part of that process. They just are. And so there's really no way to get around that I know of. But if you're talking about working with just universal life force energy, you're good. And episodes back, I had said, if you're called to take a Reiki course, do it, this and that. There's so many out there. But like, it didn't dawn on me that everybody can work with energy. Everybody has that innate ability to work with energy. And just like with Reiki, working with energy is something that builds over time, and it's like a muscle. You have to work it out. You have to practice and practice and practice. So what is life force energy? So some call it chi, ki, prana. And for me, the gist of it is that we are all one big connected, like, soul family. We're all connected as one, if that makes sense. So if someone wants to be a Reiki practitioner in the traditional sense, yes, within Reiki, attunements are considered just part of that practice. And that practice, it deserves respect. But do you need a attunement to meditate? No. To sit quietly? No. To pray? To set intention? No. So healing is going to start with you, within yourself. And I've said this a million times before. So many positive changes aren't big. They're not like big, grand, like, wow. They are small, tiny steps, little breadcrumbs. When we breathe, when we become awareness podcast of our habits, when we reduce stress, when we connect with ourselves, when we begin to process our emotions, when we move our body, when we make choices that support our well-being. Awareness often becomes that first step in healing. Hate to say it, but I just did a podcast on awareness, 3 parts. Check it out if you want some more information. And so intention matters. One thing that is just a given is where your attention goes, grows. Your intention matters. And not because it's going to magically make everything better, it's going to change everything overnight, but because intention changes the way we show up. We become present. Instead of reacting, we begin responding. We take a step back and think, maybe this doesn't serve me to react. And maybe I'm going to sit back and think about how I'm going to respond. Instead of forcing, we start to listen. How many times have you maybe started a diet and you forced yourself? And guess what? Did it work out? Absolutely not. You don't need to force anything upon yourself. If you simply just sit with your body and listen, your body will tell you what it needs. Now, yet again, this is something that you're going to have to practice, and you're going to have to work it out like it's a muscle. But eventually, you will get to a place where you trust your intuition and your inner voice. I just did a podcast on this too. Golden Aura Wellness Space podcast. If you want to listen, it's like a shameless plug, but I didn't even mean for that to happen. And that shift alone can have profound effects on our life changing, life altering. I'm dead serious. So you don't need expensive tools. You don't need complicated rules. You can begin with simply practicing. Practice every day. Practice makes perfect. We don't want any stress. There's no judgment in this zone. We are just going to practice because this is what we want to do, right? We're not practicing because we're trying to be better than anybody or, whatever. We're practicing because this is something that we want to do. And guess what? If we do this for a while and we realize this isn't our thing, That's fine. At least you tried, right? You found something that lit up your soul and you tried it and you decided it wasn't for you. No big deal. So you can spend 5 minutes without distraction, 5 minutes sitting with yourself. And for so many people, that is so hard. And that is why you need to do it. It should not be that hard to spend 5 minutes in quiet with yourself. And so if you do it and continue to do it, it will get easier. You will be completely fine with it. And, next thing you know, it's 2 months later and you're like, oh my gosh, 2 months ago, I couldn't even sit with myself for a minute without going crazy, right? So no matter what, this is all growth. Like, say this doesn't work out for you. This journey has made you grow like that much more. So walk barefoot in nature, sit quietly, meditation, journaling, gratitude. Oh my goodness, 3 things a day. Write them down. You don't even have to write them down. Think them in your head right before you go to bed. What are 3 things I'm grateful for? If that's hard for you, guess what? Food, water, air. Super easy. Move your body. Stagnation is a killer for the soul. I have said this so many times. You guys know I'm all about moving your body. I'm not about vigorous exercise. I'm not about movement for punishment. I'm about moving your body because you love your body and you want your body to be healthy. You want your body to flow like a river. You don't want for that to be stagnant water, right? Okay, so noticing how your body feels, drink water and rest. Okay, so here's the other thing, is I want for you to observe your thoughts without believing them. So if you observe your thoughts without connecting to them, it really is like a small step in feeling more grounded, feeling more connected with yourself, not letting things bother you, not letting things get to you. So learning to recognize the signals that your body is giving you, and it takes practice. The quieter you become, the easier it makes it to notice them. All these things we're talking about, the listening, being present, movement, listening to your body, all these things are starting your healing journey. So whether or not someone calls it energy work, they make a meaningful difference. And so this was not a rant. This is what I believe you need to do if you want to start working with energy. Because what you want to do is work on yourself first, because you want to be a clear vessel, if that makes sense. So I am going to teach you a couple ways that I know of that you can work with your energy yourself. And so noticing energy is super subtle at first. And what you're gonna have to do is get quiet. And if that's hard for you, that's okay. Get as quiet as you can while still focusing on sensation. So I'm gonna guide you through a super simple practice that will help you become more aware of sensing energy with your hands. So you don't need to be attuned to practice mindfulness, meditation, or energy awareness, right? This is not a Reiki treatment. I want for you to have a seat, and I want you to just gently inhale, breathing in everything that serves you, exhale, breathing out anything that no longer serves you. And before working with your hands, I want to take just a moment to ground ourselves. So I want you to take a seat, plant both feet on the floor. I want you to imagine roots extending from the bottoms of your feet, moving deep, deep, deep into the earth. Normally I have it connected to the earth's core. Just make sure it's tightly connected. And I want you to allow yourself to feel steady and supported, safe and present. Now I want you to bring your hands together and gently rub your palms back and forth for about 10 seconds. Okay, so So now I want you to pull them apart. And so depending on how aware of energy you are, you may have to start closer, which I would, but I just can't right now. So you may have to start like an inch apart. And what you're looking for is when you can feel tingling, pulsing, pressure, a coolness, or a gentle, it's like the best way to describe it is like a magnetic sensation. Do you feel anything unusual? And if you don't, that's completely okay. With time, you absolutely will. And the purpose is not to, compare yourself to anything, figure out if you're good or not, because like a muscle, everything can come in time. I don't know if you could see that bounce. Like I literally am trying to go closer and you can go further. And so when I do a Reiki session, this is what I feel against the body. Like if my left hand was the body, that is what I'm sensing for. Now I want you to imagine that you're holding a soft ball of light between your hands. You can choose the color, whatever feels calming to you. And as you breathe, imagine this light getting bigger. And as you breathe out, imagine it becomes more softer, more peaceful. And so just staying here, imagining that ball of light growing bigger and bigger. And stay here for a few breaths, just noticing the sensations that you're feeling. And this is something that you can really do, a couple times a day. And you can even do it at your office. No one's going to know what you're doing. And then whenever you're done, just gently pull your hands apart. So if your hands feel very hot, or you can still sense that, a good practice is to wash your hands. The more you focus on your hands, the more sensitive you begin to feel. And over time, like my hands are so sensitive that, if you can tell, it's almost like having them that close together, like, and really focusing on it is like, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but my hands get really hot, and then my face gets hot, and I'm a hot mess. So once you have that big golden ball of light, or whatever, mine's always golden, that big glowing ball of light, and you can just feel it. Oh, look, I can still, yeah. What you want to do is maybe place your hands over the center of your chest and just imagine that healing energy going into your body or over your face. Or if you have like a spot that hurts, I used to have a tooth before I was even, no, maybe when I first got attuned to Reiki, I had a tooth that hurt so bad, and I would just like get ready and just put it over my tooth, and it went away. I'm not saying that that's gonna happen, but it could have just been a coincidence. And so if you're doing just energy work, you can always say, I release what no longer serves me, or, let this healing energy soften my heart, release what no longer serves me, this, that, and the other. Whatever your intention is when you're covering, you can set that intention and just remain there for, a couple moments, go from spot to spot. So when you're done, you can say a prayer. What I would definitely say a closing statement prayer, something to make it aware that you are disconnecting from like this higher energy, right? So so it could sound like, I release this practice with gratitude. I return fully to my own energy. I'm present, I am protected, and connected to myself. Super easy. But if you are connecting to something, set an intention, do the work, make sure to disconnect, as so that you don't drain yourself. And so when you're doing that, just like I said, do it for maybe 5-10 minutes a day, whatever you can do. The more you do it, the more you are growing and building that connection. And so I hope that this helped. And I feel like even as kids, we knew that we had access to something that was a tool for us. You remember when you were riding your bike and you fell off and you would like instinctively cup wherever you had this injury? And why did we do that? If it hurts, why do we place our hands over it? Like instinctively, right? So, okay. As always, I know time is precious. I am so, so, so grateful that you chose to spend this time today with me. I will see you back here Monday for yoga and Reiki, and then an energy talks. I believe that's what I have. Haven't been doing yoga. I was getting my hair done and I sat weird, and oh my gosh, my back hurts so bad. So I've just kind of been, letting it heal, and then stretching, and then Monday I'm going to be back at it. So I will see you back here on Monday. I hope you have a great day, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.